Hello, this is Paul, and I welcome you to the second lesson, or second unit, for Windows XP. This is part of a program where people are coming to the First Church of the Brethren in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and after 10 such lessons, we are able to grant a person a free computer. And with this program, you come back for the last of the 12 with any questions that you have. Also, it is encouraged to take a second round to be able to make these lessons much more meaningful, since you will have a computer to go home and play around with it and get a better understanding. With this in mind, we're going to get started with this lesson. This is the first part of a three-part lesson, so be sure to view its contents for all three as often as you like. Today we're talking about the mouse, and the mouse has several basic functions. Take notice that this is a 2-button mouse. However, it functions like a 3-button mouse. I will explain that more, but take notice there is a wheel in the center of this particular mouse that will enable some extra capabilities. Getting back to the mouse, if I ever say click on your mouse on a certain object, it means with your left finger you press the left button on the mouse. Now that is this part right here. If I say right click, it means exactly that, right click. And if you should be playing a game or run into a situation where both buttons are pushed together, it is equivalent to a 3-button mouse pressing the center button. Now, when we get on the web or get on certain programs that has a long page, we can make use of the wheel to be able to scroll up and down. One of the interesting things is that if you hold down the shift key and you press that wheel, you will be able to slide from one side to the other. So that is the basic functions of the mouse. Now there is a difference on this. If you go in and set up this mouse to be for a left-handed person, when I say click, it would be a right click, and then when I say right click, it would mean a left click for a left-handed person. So that's the only difference there. The history of the mouse goes back a little far. 1972, there was a mouse that was invented, and as you can see, it looks much different than what a mouse looks like today. There was many different attempts to make a mouse effective and try to make establish a standard for this object. Well, even to today, that has not taken place, but they have taken a more traditional shape to fit in the palm of your hand. Now, one thing I would like to realize is that although mice are all designed differently with different functions, still there is a basic operation in all of these mice. Now when we turn it upside down and take the cover off, this is the appearance of what the mouse looks like inside. There are a couple chips in here that make it work and able to translate to the computer, and we have already discussed that there is a driver to interpret these signals for the computer to be able to operate. Now take notice in the very center, this is a ball that rides on the desktop and be able to move the marker around on the screen. I'm going to use my mouse here, and you can see that little object moving around only because I'm able to move that ball around. However, with the new mice that are available, they are optical in design, and the procedure that I'm talking about to come no longer exists. So it's a much easier operating, smoother operating, and a much cleaner operation than it was before. As you can see, when we click on the left mouse, it does the basic selection. If I say a double click, it also means 2 quick clicks on the mouse with that same button. And if you turn the program around for a left-handed person, it will be the opposite. As I say, this on this button, we will make 2 clicks to be able to open a program or make our selection. Now, this is not just a casual operation. I like to say it in the class that you think of something on TV in one of the older programs. Boom, boom! And you will be able to tap your finger that quick. Boom, boom! To be able to make a double click. Otherwise, you will just have 2 single clicks that won't operate at all. So, we move on. And the right click is only when using the right button. If I say right click and you're left-handed, you will naturally use the left button instead. So now the wheel will help you scroll in most windows, and I'm talking about working with the word processors such as OpenOffice Writer, and also with the spreadsheets, and especially on the web, to be able to scroll up and down on the web. So it makes it a lot easier rather than using other functions to perform the same function. With this display, we have a button on the side. Not all mice have that button on the side, and if there's one on one side, there's probably a button on the other. And it's helpful with web browsing that when you press this button, you'll be able to go from one screen of display to another that you have already visited. I will be covering more of that later on. So this is the completion of this section, and when we get back to it, we will be talking about making shortcuts and other functions on the desktop. Now remember, this does not constitute for a attendance in the class towards a new computer, but it does give you a resource to be able to watch this repeatedly.